CMSportsNet is made possible by Genova's To Go and by Carroll Links.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the CMSportsNet Game of the Week. We've got Century visiting Manchester Valley in a girls lacrosse county clash. I'm Pat Stetzer from CMSportsNet, and joining me tonight, former high school and college lacrosse standout Kristen Cannon. Kristen, thanks for joining us tonight.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. We're looking forward to a good game tonight. Century's unbeaten overall, and in the Carroll County Athletic League, Manchester Valley the same. The Mavericks going after another county title, and of course more. They won the state championship last year. Kristen, before we talk about tonight's game, just catch us up. I covered you in high school, and then you went on to play at Johns Hopkins. What have you been doing lately in the lacrosse community in Carroll County?
Well, I'm currently coaching a checkers team, Checkers 2032, with my prior checkers coach, Lacey, now Headley.
Lacey Hentz, yeah.
Yeah, so a North Carroll alum.
Mm-hmm.
She brought me all the way from 6th grade to my senior year, then hooked me up with a good connection at Hopkins. So now we're back to where it all started.
Full circle.
Yep, with these Carroll County girls. Really nice giving back to the game. And
that's great.
With 10-year-olds, so it's a good time.
You remember that time well when you were starting the sport. And we'll talk more about it as the night goes on. So quick thoughts about tonight's game between two really good county teams, the Century and Man Valley. Yeah,
always good competition when you're seeing the Century, Manchester Valley, who has been on a good run the last couple of years. Two undefeated teams. Always a great game to catch in this kind of situation, especially in Carroll County.
Absolutely. We have some more pregame coverage for you before we get started tonight, so don't go away. There's more Game of the Week action coming right up. Stick with us.
Hungry? Genova's To Go. Pizza, pasta, subs, and more. Fresh hot pizza right from the oven. Genova's To Go. A mouth-watering cheesesteak just off the grill. Genova's To Go. Fresh baked bread and plump wings seconds from the fryer. Genova's To Go. Genova's To Go carryout, delivery, mobile device, and online ordering is available at all locations. Westminster, Hampstead, Manchester, and our newest dining room in Eldersburg. For lunch, dinner, or any time in between. Genova's To Go.
There's a lot about Sarah and Tara that's exactly alike. They drink the same coffee, they have the same great job, and they both have a high-quality education. The only difference? Sarah spent her first 2 years at Carroll Community College, getting the same exceptional education, but at less than half the cost. So while Tara uses her paycheck to make student loan payments, Sarah can use hers for other things, like going out for coffee. Get started at carrollcc.edu.
Welcome back to Game of the Week. Pat Stetzer and Kristen Cannon ready to watch Century and Manchester Valley in a Carroll County Athletic League girls lacrosse showdown. Century's 6-0 and 3-0 in the county. We mentioned they're unbeaten. The Knights have outscored their county foes by 17 goals, 15 goals, and 7 goals. So impressive start. Century got 5 goals from junior Natalie Opatowski and 3 from senior Marley Carfine in their win over South Carroll the other day. Manchester Valley on a 26-game winning streak coming into tonight's game. The Mavericks were 7-0 overall, 3-0 in the county. They took down Westminster 19-4 last week behind 5 goals apiece from Emma Penchik and Addison Meyer and 5 assists from Natalie Burmeister. And Kristen, we're going to look at some of the team stats now before we get this game started. And you got two big teams coming up here, both undefeated. The goals per game pretty close, and then the goals allowed per game pretty close. We're going to see some good defense and some good offense, I think. It's a matter of who gets the draw, as always, in girls lacrosse. And now we'll move over to some players to watch in tonight's game, and we pick Century's Natalie Opatowski and Manchester Valley's Taylor Feek. Opatowski leads Knights in scoring, and Feek has already made quite an impact on the Mavericks squad as a freshman. She has a game-winning goal from earlier in the year, and she had a big game against Westminster last week. We had a chance to speak with each coach ahead of tonight's big county matchup, and first up is going to be Century coach Becky Groves. Our Josh Davis caught up with the Knights coach at a recent practice. Let's go ahead and take a look and a listen.
How's the season going for you so far, Coach?
It's been good. It was a little bit of a struggle. We had a 2.5-week break. I think it was about 17 days without a game, so that was a little difficult. We started out pretty good initially, and then we had that long break, and then we picked up kind of where we left off against South Carroll and FSK Winners Mill last week. So things are looking up, but we have a big challenge ahead.
What are some of the strengths the team can use to beat Man Valley tomorrow?
I think we're very balanced offensively and defensively, so we're more of a complete team than we've been in the past. We don't have a superstar, so if you're shutting one kid down, we have several others to step up.
Thanks to Coach Groves for giving us some of her time. And now we'll hear from Mavericks coach Shelly Brzezicki. We mentioned that impressive win streak. It's on the line tonight against Century. Let's go ahead and take a listen to Coach Brzezicki.
Coach, what was the one big takeaway you got from your game against Westminster that you were most pleased with the way they performed in bad conditions weather-wise, but against a quality county opponent?
Absolutely. I think the number one thing we took away from the game is that our girls are willing to put in the work the entire game. And what we saw out of them is intensity and hustle, 100%, all 4 quarters. Despite the weather, despite the field conditions, they just kept moving and motivating each other, and that's what we had hoped for.
You've been inside a good bit. You're inside again today. I know you'll be outside at some point. Do the girls take that in stride? I know that's not the ideal conditions to be in, getting ready for games, but it hasn't really slowed them down. That's a testament to what they know they can do on the field.
Absolutely. We really try to utilize the space that we have. So we talk about, we have small space, we'll work on small things. When we get out on the field, we'll work on our bigger concepts. The girls do a great job of just coming every day focused and ready for whatever we throw at them.
What's it going to take to beat another good quality team in Century?
Century's a really good team, well coached. They have a lot of attack, a lot of threats, and they have a strong defense. It's really going to take us making sure that we take care of the ball, making sure that we take every opportunity that's given to us, and that we really don't force any, errors on our side. Mm-hmm. And then when the opportunity presents itself, that we make sure that we make them count.
Thanks to Coach Brzezicki and Coach Groves in our pregame show coverage there. We got we got some insight from them as we get ready for the CMSportsNet game of the week between Century and Man Valley. Before we get into some more, Kristen, you're coaching the little girls right now. I get it, but you've been in plenty of games like this. If you're on either side here, how do you get prepared for a game like this? Regular season, there's still plenty of season left, but it's a big game between 2 undefeated teams. How do you get prepared?
Yeah, I think just focus in the practices leading up, knowing which team you're playing at the end of the day. I think it comes down to draws, taking care of the ball, solid defense. So I think really just locking in for a game like this, when you have 2 solid teams, it could go either way. And
we'll talk as the game goes along about maybe nerves and those kind of things, how you settle in. We were here last Thursday, game of the week, set up shop here when Westminster visited Man Valley for a girls lacrosse Carroll County game. Now we can take look back at the highlights from that game from just last week. Westminster visited Manchester Valley on Thursday, April 11th on a rainy, windy night for some Carroll County Athletic League girls lacrosse action. The Mavericks strike first when freshman Taylor Feek finds a cutting Emma Penchek. The junior scores, and the home team is on the board. A nice quick shot here from Feek with an assist to Natalie Burmeister. Mavericks lead the Owls 3-0 early in the first quarter. Man Valley's defense is just as strong to start this game. The Mavericks take a charge and force a turnover on Westminster's first big possession of the game. The Owls finally end the drought when Brinley Tozer takes a pass from Kate McAlonan and finds the net. Owls down 4-1 after 1 quarter. Addison Meyer adds a goal from free position, and the Mavericks are in command with a 6-1 lead. Addison Meyer. Penchek cuts around an Owls defender and looks to score, but goalie Corinne Michael comes up with a nice save for Westminster. Freshman Emmeline Scott creates her own chance to score, and she converts. Man Valley 8, Westminster 1 in the second quarter. And now we have some Carroll County history. Penchek carries the ball into the offensive zone, gets a pass back from Scott, and scores before taking a tumble. And that's career goal number 200 for the standout midfielder. Tozer converts a free position attempt, and Westminster is back on the board, but Manchester Valley leads 11-2 at halftime. Cassidy Hanlon finds McAlonan for a nice goal here, and the Owls are trying to finish strong. But it's too much Manchester Valley in the end. Final score is Mavericks 19, Owls 4. Emma Penchek and Addison Meyer lead the way with 5 goals, and Natalie Burmeister hands out 5 assists, and the Mavericks are 7-0, 3-0 in Carroll County. Brinley Tozer has 3 goals for the Owls, but they fall to 2-5, 0-2 in the CCAL.
Mavericks on 3! 1, 2, 3, Mavericks!
So a windy, rainy night went the way of the Mavericks last week. Here's some recent results around the Carroll County and the girls lacrosse world. Century, not quite a close contest. Century with a pair of wins along the way. You saw the Man Valley win over Westminster, and Winters Mill getting a close victory against Francis Scott Key. We'll head over to some recent boys scores now involving Carroll County teams. A little closer around here. Westminster edged Man Valley on Saturday. And you see Century taking care of Francis Scott Key for a county W there as well. And another win for Century over South Carroll. And Liberty beating Winters Mill. And there is the boys lacrosse standings. You see Westminster on top despite the 2-4 record, 2-0 overall for the Owls. The Falcons of Winters Mill suffered their first county loss at the hands of Liberty. And a log jam there in the middle between Century, Man Valley, and Liberty as well. Over to the girls, a three-way tie for first. Man Valley, Century, and Liberty all tied at 3-0. Of course, that's going to be affected by today's game here as well, tonight's game. Winters Mill 1-3, and then South Carroll Owls and Francis Scott Key looking for their first county win of the season. We're going to see the lineups here in a second, but just wanted to let sure everybody knew this game was supposed to be a traditional 5 o'clock JV start, 6:15, 6:30 varsity. The stadium having some lighting issues with their stadium lights, so they decided to move the game up to take advantage of the sunlight. That's why I appreciate Kristen being able to be flexible with her schedule and join us on the Game of the Week broadcast. We're going to go ahead and take a look at the starting lineups here now before the visiting team, the Century Knights, led by Coach Becky Groves, and some names we are familiar with around the county. Harley Hamlet in the middle, Marley Carfine at attack, Natalie Apotovsky at attack, Delaney Sandbank really good with in the X position for Century, and Becca Mullenix in goal for Century. Now we switch over to Manchester Valley starters. One change from last week. Coach Shelley Brzezinski, Allie Largent gets the start here today over Sophia Lowe, but for the most part, the same lineup with Emma Penchik, Taylor Feek in the middle. Sophie Bear, a really talented defender, and then Natalie Burmeister and Haley Bittinger on attack as well. So there are your starters, Kristen, for this big game. What does Century need to do to calm those nerves? We talked about, I was going to ask you about that, and also try to continue to do what they're doing and get a victory on the road against a really good Man Valley team. Yeah, Century, comparing the two rosters, have a lot of seasoned vets on their team, so using their experience, hopefully, kind of managing the clock, taking care of the ball to slow down this Manchester Valley, who are pretty solid on the draw. Yeah, and I was going to say, the Mavericks I would imagine if I'm asking you about keys to the game, keep doing what you're doing. They've been winning every game for the last year and a half, so. Especially with a young team, a lot of seniors graduated, but have a lot of young girls coming in and making a presence in this team, undefeated. How do you think that plays with, the mix of Man Valley's mix of freshmen and sophomores to some of the seniors, and again, Emma Penchik's a veteran and she's only a junior, so it's been a pretty good mix so far. That can be tough for a coach to get it all to gel together, right? Yeah, definitely nice though having big contributors as younger players, so you keep them for years as you phase some seniors out. They can kind of bring the freshmen and underclassmen under their wing for more than just 2 years. A couple of stalwarts here in Carroll County with Century and Manchester Valley, handful of state titles across the board on both sides. Man Valley won the state championship last year, finished a 19-0 season, and again 7-0 already to start this year. So 26-game win streak on the line for Coach Shelley Brzezinski and the Mavericks. And Century, it's always state championship or bust for the Knights. They haven't gotten there in the last couple of years, but they are not too far removed from a state championship. And of course, their pedigree when you were playing and before you were playing is definitely make it to states and try to win one. They had a streak there for a while where they never didn't finish the season at the tournament, whether they won it or finished runner-up. We are about to get started with the lineups, or announcing the lineups here for Century and Manchester Valley. So, Kristen, while they're doing this, how do you handle the nerves of a game? Because every athlete has got those butterflies in their stomach, things of that nature, and especially in a big game like this. Does it have to be spoken, or do you know, hey, in a few minutes we'll settle down and get into it, or is it just going to be part of the game? I think everyone's different in how they handle their nerves, pump up music, warm-ups, getting out some energy. That works for some. Others are more go inside themselves. So I think it's just whatever works for each person, and, knowing what the girl beside you needs to get them going. Sure. What did you do, if you could remember back to you? Because you had obviously college and high school lacrosse. Were you more of a want to be with your teammates and get fired up, or did you take a minute to kind of collect yourself and go? I think right before the game was more where I was internal, throughout warm-ups, high energy,
getting everything going. But then right before the game starts, kind of recollect myself and focus from there.
And the coaching staffs here obviously very familiar with their programs. Becky Groves played high school lacrosse in the county, and then moved on to be the coach at Century. She played in college. Shelly Brzezicki been a coach here for a long time. She's had international coaching success. It's good to have programs like that in this county that are run by savvy veterans who know their way around the game.
Yeah, and I think both our club coaches as well. They touch a lot of girls at different ages and bring them up through the game.
What's the biggest thing you try to do? You mentioned you're coaching checkers, and that's a very popular club team in Carroll County, the central Carroll County or Westminster area. What's the goal here that when you try to you said you're coaching the 10-year-olds, that's kind of when you guys started too. Fundamentals is key, I would think, but also trying to instill a love of the game in them.
Yeah, and just, girls wanting to play multiple sports, just being good athletes, being well-rounded. They don't need to specialize at this point. They don't need to play one position at this point. They just need to get a hand on a stick. I think that's the biggest thing at this point too is, learning to catch and throw with both hands, ground balls, things like that, the fundamentals.
Have you caught yourself remembering, oh yeah, I did that, or I remember when I was at this level? It's got to be kind of surreal to come around again. You're coaching with the person who coached you at that level, and now you're helping out the next generation of girls. We're going to see those girls in 4 or 5 years at this level.
Yeah.
It's got to be pretty cool. It'll pinch yourself once in a while.
Yeah, I think a good handful go into both of these schools as well on our team, but it's hard to kind of remember they're 10 years old. Both Lacey and myself are very intense people, and we'll sometimes look at each other and be like, they're very young, and we're giving them very intense, high-level concepts, it's fun.
And you can see already some of them really grasp it, and some of them need some more time to get it, and I'm sure we saw the same with the girls that are running onto the field right now between Manchester Valley and Century. So in a moment, with the introductions are over, we'll pause for the Star Spangled Banner, and then we will get underway. Century and Manchester Valley here. Glad to have you guys with us on the CMSportsNet Game of the Week. Freshman goalie Josie Collender coming out for Man Valley. Had a good game against Westminster. And Becca Mullenix, her counterpart on the other side, is a talented goalie as well. So the goalie play early could go a long way towards setting the tone on both sides here. All right, the last player for Manchester Valley has been announced, and now we will pause for the national anthem, I believe sung by Man Valley's own Sunshine Safely. Last Thursday, Sunshine Safely sang the anthem, and I forgot to credit her. This time, I assumed she was going to sing it, and they played the instrumental version. I can't win, but she will. She does give us her rendition most of the time, and does a great job here at Manchester Valley. What are you looking forward to most here, Kristen, between two really good teams? I mean, we're going to see a good game, I think. Yeah, I think just seeing a really solid competitive game. I know there's a wide variety of talent in the county, so to see two undefeated teams come together on such a beautiful evening. Yes. You can't ask for much more. I agree. Much different than Thursday when we braved some wind and rain conditions, and the teams played well in the conditions. Man Valley pulled away to win that one 19-4 and stay undefeated. And we will see here between two unbeaten teams as we get set for Game of the Week action, Century and Manchester Valley. First few minutes is always a big deal in any game, but I think, defensively you want to really set that tone. Man Valley drew some charges early in the game last week to kind of set their tone. But you saw for the team stats, Kristen, I mean, both teams are not giving up more than 5.5 goals a game. That's pretty impressive, halfway through the regular season.
Yeah, absolutely. Anytime any defense can hold a team to less than 10 goals, I expect the offense to score more than 10 goals.
So here we go. The draw looks like Maddie Preetz for Century, number 5, and Haley Bittinger, number 2, for Manchester Valley. Settle in, everybody, for some good high school girls lacrosse here between Century and Manchester Valley on the CMSportsNet Game of the Week. The opening draw control is up and gobbled up by Emma Penchik. We're underway here with ground ball. And Century comes up with the first defensive play. This is Julia Borniak, number 24, looking for a teammate to help clear.
Yeah, we got the Mavericks in a pretty organized ride here, so I think that's going to be pretty crucial here.
Yeah, they did a good job of this last week, too, against Westminster. These ground balls are going to be huge. But the Knights gather that up. That's Emily Rutledge, senior defender. There's a check from behind. So, you're right, Kristen. Man Valley making it tough for Century here in the opening moments, and they get the ball back here. It's Sophie Bear right there, number 3, carrying it across midfield.
Puts a lot of pressure on defenders to have good stick work, not just attackers and midfielders, but with an aggressive ride.
And the Mavericks set up shop on offense. This is Emmeline Scott, one of the freshmen on the roster, who is already playing very well, getting a lot of minutes. And first possession here of extended time here for the Mavericks. Taylor Feek looking for a cutter. And let's see. I'm going to call Century for a push, I think. Yep. And that was Borniak, so the ball goes back to the Mavericks. Opening minutes of the first quarter. Again, we play quarters now. I found out in the first game of the season. I swore we played halves still, but we play quarters. A new wrinkle to the rules, but
can't lie, I thought the same thing first game I came to this year.
You and me both. I said, it cannot be right. We play 25-minute halves. Nope, not this year. There goes Penchik cutting to the net. Ball on the ground, and here comes Century. That's Harley Hamlet.
Tight feet in there, but Century's been on these ground balls in their 8.
And Harley Hamlet, athletics, is going to use her athleticism, being guarded by Penchik. 2 of the best in the county right there. And here's Natalie Opatovsky. Gives off to Riley Poe, another freshman out there, number 14 for Century. And here's Delaney Sandbank, who will set up behind the goal. Ooh, tough pass. But the Knights corral it, and here's Sandbank. Back up top to Hamlet. This will be Century's game, back and forth between Sandbank and her teammates. There's a cut, and there's a shot a little high over the net. Oh, Man Valley backed that one up.
There's a good crash in there, getting a stick on the ball to deflect that shot a little bit too.
Yeah, it's shot taken by Carfine, and she couldn't really get her good solid footing. And that's defense rising up again for Man Valley. So both defenses playing well here in the early goings. And this is Peyton Youngkins, another freshman. Nice pass to the middle of the field. Here comes Addison Meyer, and I think we're going to have shooting space. So we'll have our first free position attempt of the game. There's a good pass there back to the middle, and no one there for Century, and Addison Meyer took advantage of it.
Yeah, puts a defender in a tough spot, either get hang back or get caught in shooting space.
That was sophomore to sophomore there. Carolyn Lowe found her classmate, and here is Addison Meyer. Shot goes a little bit wide. And let's see, the Mavericks retain it. And that is Carolyn Lowe backing up. Natalie Burmeister, who had those 5 assists against Westminster last week. There's Feek. Oh, Intercepted. Number 5, Maddie Preetz. I'm not surprised, Kristen, so far that both defenses are on point.
They are. Every loose ball seems to be finding a stick pretty quickly.
Most of them Century's way, but you're right. Both defenses have come to play in the early moments. The offenses will catch up. They're too talented not to, but you're playing against good defense. It makes it tough. Hamlet, Sandbank, and Carfine playing catch here on the near sideline.
It seems like both teams have the same idea, manage the clock. You know,
I
a lot
agree.
of turnovers have happened or loose balls.
Yeah.
Get it down, get a touch on everyone's stick.
Possession ball here. Not too many one-on-one matchups so far. There's Opatowski on the far side of the arc. Back behind the net, and there's Sandbank. Hamlet tried to get in there. I'm going to call it block. Probably the right call, some contact there, and here's Harley Hamlet on the 8-meter. 3-sport athlete, one of Century's top athletes, one of the county's top athletes. Here she goes, and the ball down. Another foul, though. So she'll get a second crack at it. 6.5 to go in the opening quarter. No score. Century and Manchester Valley. Hamlet bounces it. Colliner save. Ooh, rebound shot. Did it go on the side of the net? It did. Nice rebounded shot by Hannah Baglin, but it fails to find the inside of the net, and Man Valley has the ball back. Nice defense, nice save by the freshman.
Yep. Ready to go, and now we're seeing Century in a pretty organized ride here as well.
So you're not too surprised at the good defense here so far between both teams?
No, it seems like they both have a game plan, as
Yes.
expected.
Yeah, and maybe they both have again. Here we go. Nice job by Sandbank, and now it's a rush. Sandbank. She'll score. So she takes advantage of the turnover, and she finds the net. Nice job by the Knights, who break through first. Delaney Sandbank with the first goal of the game. There's a replay. She just did a good job of just nose to the goal. Right after the ball hit the ground, she knew exactly what to do with it.
Good dodge there. It's not like she had a defender on her, but good placement on that shot.
So there's Delaney Sandbank, senior attack, number 28, one of the top assist collectors in the county last year. That's not the right word, but you know what I meant. One of the leaders in assists, and she's back at it again this year. And 1-0 Century. I think the clock's been running a little bit, so they might have to make an adjustment there. Going to check with the table. Interesting that the first, turnover of the game, gets capitalized like that. Both teams waiting for that opportunity to score, and after the nice save by Colliner on the free position, the Knights don't let it get by them, and they get the first goal of the game.
Yeah, and reaffirming how important this draw is going to be. If we have a low-scoring game, every draw is important.
Every draw. Yep. I'm sure that's something you drew into the little girls as well, the young girls. Got to win that draw.
Starts young.
It starts young, absolutely. Preetz and Preetz and Bittinger again. Preetz almost had it, but Bittinger comes away with it. And that's 2 now, I believe, for favor of the Mavs in the draw control department. That Sun could be a little tricky there, too, making those cross-field passes. We'll see.
Probably not quite used to it with an earlier game.
That's true. Yeah, we're an hour.
Different level.
Hour or so earlier of the Sun. Yeah, you're right. And we haven't seen too much of it in the early goings of the spring. There's so much clouds and cool and rain and stuff. But anyway, the Mavericks now back behind the goal. Becca Mullenix changed jersey numbers. She was 33 to start the season. I see her wearing 39 now for the Knights. She's been their goalie for a few years now, so a veteran only as a junior. Nice pass to Penchik. And I think the whistle blew before that shot. That came all the way back out to the restraining line, but I think that's going to be a shooting space. And man, she shoots quick. Coming off that curl. I think it went in, but
Yeah, I was gonna say.
the whistle blew before it. But you know she shoots hard when it bounces all the way back out to the restraining line. But here she comes from free position, and she scores.
It's always nice when you make the first one that gets called back, and then you get the second one anyway. Good placement on that.
Career goal number 202. She passed 200 last week. She was 4 goals away, finished with 5 goals in that game. And having covered the sport here for a good bit of years, I know that's a short list of girls that can finish with 200 career goals. And Emma has the rest of this season and all of next season to try to pad that number. So congrats to her for joining that list.
That's super impressive as a junior.
Absolutely. A sophomore and change, really. I mean, she's only had 6-7 games as a junior, but you're right.
That's
I mean,
true. Yeah.
Two solid seasons. Got hurt last fall, missed the basketball season, which she's also a standout basketball player. And she comes away with that draw right there, and she told me and whoever wanted to listen, and rightfully so, she was determined to make it back for the spring season and not miss it. And she has picked up right where she left off last year. So 3 draws now, all 3 won by the Mavericks, and that is going to be a telling stat the rest of the day. Just like you said, Kristen, I mean, who's going to win these draws is going to win the game. Has a really good chance to win the game, I should say.
And we haven't seen a lot of fast break either. Both teams in pretty settled attack.
That was Meyer trying to find a teammate, and I think they're going to get a call for, Century's going to get a call for shooting space there too. Addison Meyer, only a sophomore, number 1 for Man Valley. Nice move around the defender. She was looking to pass, but now she'll have a chance from the 8-meter arc. Pulls it back out. Good defense by Century.
Smart choice not to force it.
Mm-hmm.
It seemed like the defense got in there pretty quickly.
Good IQ, too, as for only being a 10th grader. Not to say that she couldn't, but sometimes you're just taught to go to the goal, right? Go to the goal. There's some physical play here going on. That's going to be a foul on on Century. Abby Christian call for the push. So this is Taylor Feek with the ball, number 13. And we'll restart. You're not surprised to see them sticking to this game plan, just kind of keeping possession, using the clock.
Yeah, absolutely. Anytime it's in your stick, it's not in theirs. And
it's true. There's a shot high from Feek, but Man Valley backs it up. Late first quarter, 1-1 is our score. Century and Manchester Valley. Knights scored first on a free position from Delaney Sandbank. Mavericks countered with 1 by Emma Penchik. And now the Mavericks looking to take a 2-1 lead with this possession here. There's Meyer trying to get through the traffic there, and more often than not, that's going to be a foul if you can maintain possession of the ball. Now this is back on the 12-meter. And that's just the difference of where the foul occurred, right, Kristen?
And like the severity of the foul. Sometimes they'll get put on the 8 versus the 12.
There's a great shot by number 9, Carolyn Lowe, that hit the pipe. And we're going to have a turnover and a Century ball. A little unlucky there. Lowe. Ooh, tough pass. And there's a pass up to Carfine, and she'll clear it and get around her defender. Marley Carfine. Ooh, tried to get it to Opatovsky. Tough pass, and that's going to go out of bounds. That's a turnover. Back to Manchester Valley. That was a tough pass.
Yeah, not sure if that was the sun or not, but...
Yeah. Yep, little high for her teammate. Trying to get it to Hannah Baglin over there on the far side. And, again, I think maybe that will be a challenging pass today, at least for the first part of the game.
And probably our first glimpse of unsettled attack and...
I think you're right.
Pushing the break.
30 seconds left in the opening quarter. Sophie Baer being double teamed there on defense. And there's a pass up to midfield, and here come the Mavericks.
Good luck.
I think that's going to be. Is that a head? Maybe a blow to the head inadvertently from the stick.
Maybe just cut her on the cross check.
Maybe. Yep. She knew it. They called her for it. So
seems like we've had a couple of those that maybe are tiptoeing the line. So refs probably trying to set a precedent here.
Well, Julia Borniak coming back on the field, so she didn't get called for a card, but maybe it was a stick. Maybe it was an equipment. Something broke. All right, well, anyway, they're going to figure it out. 12 seconds left in the opening quarter. Man Valley's ball, I believe, behind the net. See if they try to get one here before the end of the quarter. And instead, Becca Mullenix grabs the ball out of the air. And she'll just hold it.
Probably a good idea the way this first quarter went.
Yeah, it was a low-scoring first quarter. Defenses led the way. Becca Mullenix will retreat to the sideline with her Century teammates, and after one quarter of play, Century won, Manchester Valley won. CMSportsNet Game of the Week coverage here from Manchester Valley High School. I didn't expect 10-9 after the end of the first quarter, but there's the team stats. You just got the 2 goals apiece, 2 saves from Man Valley, and the 3 draws from Man Valley. So I'm not too surprised at the low-scoring game, and we've seen a couple of good defenses already kind of flexing their muscle in the first 12 minutes.
Yeah, definitely a lot of good long possessions, not a lot of shots taken, but definitely pretty good on these ground balls. Anytime a ball goes down on the defensive end, it seems like they've been all over it.
The 3 draws already for Man Valley is obviously key. There haven't been too many draws to go yet, but just the importance of that draw just gives you the ball. Like you mentioned, if it's in your stick, it's not in their stick, and it sounds cliche and it sounds kind of simple, but it really is a huge difference in how you win that girls lacrosse game.
Yeah, and some of these sets seem like I wasn't keeping track, but probably 3-4 minute long sets.
Oh, yeah. That's a big deal. I mean, again, there's plenty of game left here, but the clock is your friend if you have the ball, and then they don't. So, just the 2 goals, one aside, both free position goals. Delaney Sandbank for Century, Emma Penchek for Manchester Valley.
It'll be interesting to see what adjustments we see. Are we going to push the break more? Are both going to stay in settled offense?
So even though Century had the ball there at the end of the quarter, we still go back to the circle and have a draw to start the second quarter. And it's Haley Bittinger for Man Valley, and I believe it's still Maddie Preetz for Century. Century looking for their first draw control of the day. Here we go. Ball's in the air. And the Penchik gobbles it up. So 4 for 4 here so far, Man Valley. And there's Penchik with the ball, and that's a push by Century.
Yeah, first glimpse of what could have been a push in the break, but...
Yep. Century defense tried to stop it, but will gain the foul. And we're back on the 12-meter arc. And Penchik will pull it out. Being guarded by Hamlet. And that got deflected. Yeah, she was trying to get that pass behind the net. Century put a stick up, and just like we saw in the first quarter. Mavericks retain it. Just like Kristen, you said, this is a lot of just possession, perimeter passing, waiting for that cutter. And here's Feek. Tried to go around a defender, lost the ball momentarily. Got through 2 defenders. And that shot from...
Maybe a pipe?
Yeah, a pipe or the crossbar maybe. Either way, Century's ball. That was a good look for Emmeline Scott. After Feek found it got through 2 defenders. Here's Scott. That hit the pipe.
Yeah, it was a good opportunity there, though.
It was. So a couple of chances have hit pipes here early on. Here's Century trying to get through that ride you talked about, Kristen, and it looks like they're going to do it. That's Sandbank, and she'll get the foul call. They'll pull the ball back here a little bit. She'll restart back by the restraining line. And now Century has a chance to go up 2-1. Here's Backlund, number 3, passing over to Opatowski here on the near side. There's that perimeter passing again from Century.
Getting everyone a touch on the ball
Yeah.
to start this quarter.
Looks like Man Valley's in a bit of a zone almost, like you see on the basketball court. Now they're going to start to get a little tighter on defense. Carfine try to work off of the screen, the pick. Taylor Feek right on her for Man Valley. Nice defense. Becky Grove calling out signals from the far sideline at Century. Opatowski will work off of another screen. Man Valley's doing a good job here so far.
Definitely, you can see a lot of people ready to slide. Not a lot of one-on-one opportunities with no help available.
Sandbank tried to get away from a double team, and that's number 18, Amelia Neal. Doing a good job there, getting the ball back from Manchester Valley. And here comes Sophie Bear. She'll work it up to Haley Bittinger. And the Mavericks will set up shop now on offense. This is Scott. Guarded by Borniak. Borniak, a veteran defender for Century. Scott, a 9th grader. Doing just fine at the varsity level. Her and many other of her teammates and counterparts around the county. Addison Meyer. There's a shot from Feek, just a little high. Matt Meyer did a good job to penetrate the defense, but Century's defense closed that shooting space pretty well. Right there.
Yeah, Century's definitely ready to slide too. Both ways seem.
Ball on the ground, and it's going to have a collision here, and then inside the arc, it's going to be a card for Century. Both girls going for the ball, just collision there in the arc. So Borniak will come off, and I think Taylor Feek, slow to get up. She took a hip check, pretty hard hip check there.
And I think every game you have to read the referees. You know, how much are they going to call the cross check? Obviously, a horizontal stick is going to get called, but every referee is going to call it a little bit different.
Sure. So Feek dusts herself off, and she will have a free position chance here from the 8-meter. You see Becca Mullins getting ready between the pipes. And Taylor Feek will have a chance. And then her shot goes high, and let's see. Century. I think Century's going to have the ball. And they are. They're man down here because of the card for 2 minutes. So now the clock's really your friend, right? If you're a man down, you want to try to kill that off as much as you can.
It definitely hurts the Mavericks, their man-up opportunity.
Right. Oh, good job there. A couple of 13s going at it. Oh, Taylor Feek comes away with it. Scoots it ahead. Emmeline Scott, let's see. Were they offside?
I'm not sure what the call is.
Yeah, the clock is stopped.
It was a good heads-up play by Feek.
It was.
Flicking the ball off to
Abby Christian
teammate.
had it momentarily. Feek got it back and tried to scoot it ahead to Emmeline Scott. I think we may have a clock issue again. Let's see. That was a fast break, the first real fast break we've seen for Manchester Valley. So he said it called a timeout. So timeout has been called by Century. That was the call there. I believe they're just trying to sort it out. So 7:24 to go, second quarter. Officially, they gave Century the timeout. That was the first real sort of fast break, hectic play there. It was a good job by Taylor Feek to get the ball back. Doesn't look like Century was getting ready to take it upfield. How impressed are you so far with some of the younger? I mean, I mentioned a lot of names already that are 9th and 10th graders. It's nice to see them making a mark varsity-wise.
Yeah, their teammates obviously relying on them to, have a real impact in these games. And, obviously there's a lot of nerves involved in that.
Sure.
It's
Yeah,
young players, but they don't seem like freshmen, and, they don't seem very nervous, at least from our angle.
When I'm watching these games and I look down at the roster, I ID them, I think, oh, wait a minute, she's only a freshman, or she's only a sophomore, or that's a new player to varsity. And that just really speaks to the level of Carroll County girls lacrosse.
Yeah, and I think how your teammates, support you in that way and motivate you and give you the confidence to keep the ball in your stick and really make an impact in these games.
See Becky Groves talking to her players during that timeout.
Yeah, they must have gotten the timeout before the turnover.
I think so, yeah. It's hard
whistle.
to hear. The whistle,
Yeah.
right, could have been a whistle on the near side. But like you said, you can call a timeout while you have possession. And obviously that was the case, pretty smart timeout called by Century because Feek was right on Christian to check the ball out of her stick and then smartly try to scoot it ahead to Emily Scott, who looked like she was going to have a one-on-none opportunity there, but timeout was called. So instead of Man Valley's ball, it'll be Century's ball here on the near side. I think that's Maddie Preetz with the ball in her stick as play resumes. We'll see if that's a big moment in this early going here. It could have been a goal the other way, but coming out of the timeout, a turnover. Oh, and right back. And here comes Harley Hamlet. Remember, Century is down a player. They're shorthanded. And Opatovsky will bring it into the near corner.
Imagine going to try to kill this card with possession here.
Probably another minute or so to go. Looks like Green might be offside. I think some of the coaches in the stands noticed it. And they do call it. That's a tough one. And the Mavericks get it back. Player up.
Yeah, two pretty big calls, if missed.
Yeah.
Could really swing the momentum here.
Absolutely. Instead, the Mavericks have it behind the net. Emily Scott grabs the ball off the bounce. 6 minutes to go in the second quarter. Ooh, tough pass caught by Meyer up top here.
Looks like we're even on the card.
Yep, and I think we've got stick foul there. So you're right, the card is over, so we're even strength now, but Man Valley's towing the line for a free position. Addison Meyer again, I believe, number 1 for Man Valley. There's a shot saved, Becca Mullenix. That was not Meyer, it was...
Is that Lowe?
Somebody else, yeah, 9. Yep, sorry, couldn't make the number. Carolyn Lowe. So a save by Mullenix. And Century will try to get something going on offense. Tough pass. Got one up there by Sandbank. There's a good spin. That's Carfine. And it's going to be foul in the arc. Nice job by Carfine to get around her defender.
We have had a fair amount of 8-meter shots here, so showing how important those are to capitalize on and also to defend.
Sure.
Not a lot of them have gone in, if any.
And they're the toughest ones to defend a lot of times. Carfine, and I think she got, yeah, they're going to call another stick foul there. It looked like she got hit before she took the shot. You see her shaking her head. I think Feet got her with a stick there. That's what they're going to call. So another free position try here for Century. And I think they got it the same thing.
A lot of good contact on those 8 meters. Getting any piece of that stick really disrupts the shot.
Yep, no doubt about it.
Obviously can't foul, though.
Sure. Yep. But you're trying everything you can, right, to make sure she doesn't get a good shot off. And that was a shot. But back up top we go. Good back up there by Opatovsky. Goals hard to come by here so far in the first half. Ooh, tough pass. I think she just fell down. No, didn't call a push. Century was going to get the ball anyway, but got their feet caught up with each other, I think.
Catch her, Lindsay!
Opatovsky will bring it toward the arc. Ooh, tough pass. Sandbank, can she get it? She can. Guarded by Peyton Youngkin. That's a freshman. Sandbank takes a shot. And I think they will. Is this going to be a card?
Yeah, we've seen a handful of cross checks, and I think at this point they're probably trying to send a message that they're going to start carding them.
Nothing severe, but definitely against the, like you said, it's a foul. So this will be Sandbank with a chance. And Man Valley down a man. There you see her, Delaney Sandbank getting ready for the free position shot. She'll start. She'll shoot, and a save by Collender. Good save indeed.
There we go.
Josie Collender, freshman. Nice job. Sails the pass, but let's see. And out of bounds, it'll be Century. But hey, that was a heck of a save by the freshman.
Yep, and getting the loose ball right back to her.
But Century comes up with it after the turnover on the sideline. And Hannah Baglin, number 3, will bring it in. Oh, dropped down by Penchek. Yeah, it's going to be a stick foul there. So Baglin keeps it. Good defense all around. Defenses come to play, both sides here.
This is the game we were all hoping for.
You like a low-scoring game? Or what's your? I mean, obviously you want to see some offense there, but you can appreciate and admire a really good defense too.
Right, in games where they're not just blowouts, obviously.
Sure.
2 really solid teams. And
ball down to the Mavericks, and one of the faster players around, number 10, Emma Penchek, brings it back in to the offensive zone. So again, good defense leads to an offensive chance for Manchester Valley. And, ooh, they were offside. Were they offside? I think they might have been.
probably just a little bit of a mental lapse there.
Yeah, across the line, right?
Communication.
Yep. You can only have, how many girls?
7 across and 4 back. I missed the miscommunication there, but
Right.
maybe a defender stepped over.
If you step over, and usually they give you a second to come back.
Or if the ref didn't see it, maybe.
Okay, that could be it.
Or try to
That could be
ignore
it, yeah. Well, there's only 2 of them out there. There's a lot they have to look at. So
I'm sure
wrong place,
Century.
wrong.
Yeah, I'm sure Century was making it known they were all sides.
Sure, just like Man Valley was on
Yeah,
the last
exactly.
time down. And there's Sandbank to Carfine, and a great save again, Josie Collender.
Wonderful.
2 big saves for the freshman goalie.
Across the middle. Lindsay.
And we're under a minute to play in the opening half, and it's 1-1.
And that's got to get you fired up as an offense coming in here. Your
Sure.
goalie's making some great saves. You know, offensively, we've got to do our part.
A great pass from Bittinger to Scott, and the shot just a little off the mark, and Century backs it up.
We talk about the little things in a game like this. Offsides, backing up the goal. I think that might have been the second time the goal wasn't backed up on a shot.
You're right. These things could go a long way. And here's Century with 15 seconds or less. Can they get in position for another shot? This is Marley Carfine, and they're going to get a foul there. Going to stop the clock. There was some contact there inside the arc. Carfine will get up.
And it's tough because you just want it so bad. You want to
Sure.
stop the ball. You want to play aggressive.
And you
Obviously,
want to score.
that's our 3rd card of the game. But
Right. The girl with the ball wants to score. The girl Gardner wants to make sure she doesn't score. But, no matter what happens here, you're still going to have a minute 55 to open the 3rd quarter, a man up if you're Century. So it's a big call with 5 seconds to go.
I think sometimes we lose sight of that as players. You really just want to go hard on that last play, but
Sure.
it does impact the start of the 3rd quarter, start of your second half.
And the time the clock is running down, you want to try to make something happen there if you're Carfine. Officials trying to sort it out near the scorer's table across the way.
The referee's got a tough game tonight.
He does. He does. 2 quick teams, 2 good teams. and he went over to make sure the official scores know what's going on with 5. Actually, they're going to change it 7/10 of a second, or 7 tenths.
Looks like 7/10.
7/10. Yeah. Okay. So not much time at all.
Pretty much get this shot off right away.
Just take a rip. Yeah. Oh, 16. Yeah, she started early. A little anxious was Lindsay McCrory there, number 16 on defense, so she'll have to come out of that circle area, right? Yeah. She started early too, so there you go. Back-to-back missteps, kind of the way it's gone here in the first 24 minutes of play. And I'm a little surprised. It's only 1-1 after the end of the first half between Century and Manchester Valley. Two teams that score double-digit goals every game, and we've got a halftime score of 1-1, and that's a credit to both of these defenses here on the CMSportsNet Game of the Week. Kristen, what's impressed you the most? We'll start with Century. What's impressed you the most about them so far?
I think ground balls, getting the ball on the ground, taking care of the ball in transition. The Mavericks have a pretty organized ride in there, and I think they've been taking care of the ball and, realizing to beat a team like the Mavericks, you got to keep the ball in your stick. You got to burn time on offense and capitalize when you take shots.
How about with Man Valley? I would imagine the goalie play there at the end was pretty impressive.
Yeah, some big saves. Obviously, the draw. I think
sure,
they still at this point have every draw they've had.
Yep.
Still like the way their ride looks. I think just a few mental lapses there.
Yeah.
Some tough calls with our offsides and backing up the cage. So little things you should be able to make adjustments for at halftime.
And we'll see if they do. Sit tight, everybody. We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back with more CM Sportsnet Game of the Week right after this.
Hungry? Genova's to go. Pizza, pasta, subs, and more. Fresh hot pizza right from the oven. Genova's to go. A mouth-watering cheesesteak just off the grill. Genova's to go. Fresh baked bread and plump wings seconds from the fryer. Genova's to go. Genova's to go carry-out, delivery, mobile device, and online ordering is available at all locations. Westminster, Hampstead, Manchester, and our newest dining room in Eldersburg for lunch, dinner, or any time in between. Genova's to go.
What's the best gift you can give yourself? Pursue your passions. Explore your creativity. Expand your knowledge. Treat your mind and body. Give yourself a better you. With personal enrichment classes at Carroll Community College. Join us at carrollcc.edu/personalenrichment.
Join us on Saturday, April 27th from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. at Carroll Community College for our second annual Family Fun Fest. This year's exciting activities include free books, activities such as storytime readings, a storybook trail, drone demonstrations, a scavenger hunt, a tie-dye station, inflatables, emergency vehicles, including a helicopter, and rock painting. A local DJ will provide music, and we'll have a selection of affordable concessions and much, much more at the event. A huge thank you to our many wonderful sponsors who continue to support this event. To learn more, please visit www.carrollcc.edu. And for further questions, you can direct them to ekuzmak@carrollcc.edu or call at 410-386-8184. I look forward to seeing you at this year's event.
Hey there, I'm Pat Stetzer.
And I'm Michael Duffy, inviting you to join us for The Score and more.
Each week we'll talk about high school sports in Carroll County. We'll share information about upcoming games, highlight coaches and athletes, and much more.
We'll even try to have a little fun along the way. Don't miss The Score and More podcast presented by CM Sportsnet.
The Score and More Sports podcast is available online at carrollmediacenter.org and on a variety of podcast channels. Skill, dedication, leadership. Just a few of the things it takes to be named CM Sportsnet's Athlete of the Week. Each week, CM Sportsnet recognizes an outstanding player for their contribution to their sport. Meet some of Carroll County student athletes and join us as we celebrate their performance, impact, and outstanding accomplishments.
CM Sportsnet's Athlete of the Week is brought to you in part by Barnes-Bollinger Insurance Services. We're here for the home team. Barnes-Bollinger Insurance Services. And by Genova's To Go. Locations in Westminster, Hampstead, Manchester, Hanover, and Eldersburg. Genova's Pizza, Pasta, Subs, and more.
welcome back to the Game of the Week, CMSportsNet Game of the Week. Pat Stetzer and Kristen Cannon from Manchester Valley High School. We had a tie score, and it's 1-1. Not a misprint. Century won, Man Valley won. A couple of high-scoring teams. We're going to watch a little bit of the first half highlights and talk about what we've seen so far in the first half. And Kristen, you mentioned it before the break. It's been a lot of good defense. And some pipes.
Yeah, a lot of fouling in the 8-meter, a lot of free position shots.
There's just Delaney Sandbank getting near, and then she scored that goal. Off of that turnover, that's right. So I was saying it was a free position, but that was not the free position. But this one, I believe, was. And now it's Emma Penchik tying the score 1-1. Those are the two goals. The two goals in the first half right there. Have been a lot of defensive plays. This was that play here toward the end here with Feek. Century called the timeout, but it was a good defensive play by Taylor Feek to try to get it ahead. Emily Scott here right before the half came to a close, second quarter came to a close. Josie Colliner, huge save there on Sandbank, who was trying to give Century the lead. Again, Sandbank got up close again, and Carfine took a good shot. Colliner, a great save. So Becca Mullenix for Century and Josie Colliner for Manchester Valley. A couple of some nice plays, and there's the team stats here at halftime. 2 goals, both unassisted. All the draws have gone the way of Manchester Valley, and 4 saves for Colliner, 2 for Mullenix. And Kristen, we said we're going to probably see some offense sort of take a little time to get going. The defense sometimes is ahead of the offense, but I'm pretty pleased and impressed, I should say, with what I've seen so far defensively from both sides.
Absolutely. I mean, I think your defense having, your goalie having saves, your defense getting a lot of ground balls, that's got to fire you up on the offensive end to put some of these shots away, especially the free positions, but really some good defense on these free position shots.
There is, and those are the hardest ones sometimes to defend when you can't go in until the whistle blows. It's basically not a fast break, but a one-on-one opportunity most of the time in the defense. There's altered shots, there's been passes that have balls gone over the net. Who's going to make, what adjustment would you want to make if you're Century as you see the coaching staff talking to the girls on the sideline here?
I think still, sticking with the settled attack like they are, placing the shots. Obviously, we've had some good saves on the Mavericks side of things, but I think it takes the Mavericks out of their game by sticking with the slow pace on offense. It keeps the ball out of their stick. But then I think on the other end, Manchester Valley having some of the lapses, the more mental mistakes, like the offsides, backing up the cage. But still, I think trying to capitalize on the shots and the opportunities they do have is going to be important.
I'd be surprised if either one changes their game plan too much. They're going to want to stick to what's worked so far in the first half. You're pleased if you're both sides and it's 1-1 and you've done a good job on defense. And so I think I'd be surprised if we see too many changes in that regard.
Absolutely, and I think the 50-50 ground balls on both teams have been pretty solid. That's not really where one team is doing better or worse.
Clearly, Manchester Valley is ahead in the draw, so if you're Century, you want to start to try to see some draws go your way just to sort of get possession going again. And in the last few minutes of the second quarter, Century's offense was moving the ball. Credit Josie Colliner and the defense from Man Valley from keeping this game, 1-1. You see Shelly Brzezicki talking to Jim Miller there on the sideline, coaching staff of Manchester Valley.
And we have to remember where Manchester Valley is man down for the first minute
55. Yeah, basically. So it's Preetz and Bittinger, I believe, again. And once again.
Probably gets one of the most important draw controls.
Yes.
Given that they're man down.
To this point, maybe the biggest one, because then Century could have set up their offense and tried to work some of that man up situation. But Man Valley can, if they want to, milk this down and get it back to even strength. But don't be surprised if they get a chance to score. They will try to score here.
You could see Penchak taking the extra second to make sure they were not offsides.
She was talked to, I think.
Smart. The ball's in your stick. Yes. You have that power.
Yep. And Penchak not on the offense right now, back behind the line. Keeping that speed back on the midfield just in case it has to go the other way.
I have a feeling they're setting something up here.
Well, you would know more than me.
For when this card is released.
Yeah, I was going to say when the card is over. If there's a chance, though, I wouldn't be surprised if they take a shot. Here's Addison Meyer. And she does go to the middle, and she scores.
And if you notice here, Penchak, with her reputation, her defenders stayed on her. Century could have been in there doubling the ball, but instead,
you have to stay
all
on
eyes
her.
were on Penchak.
Yeah, well, you almost have to.
Yeah.
And the Mavericks take advantage. A short-handed goal, and Addison Meyer create that chance at the top of the arc. Got around 2 defenders, And Becca Mullen couldn't stop that one, so they should still be down a man for another little bit. 10:56 to go, so it's only been 1 minute and 4 seconds. So
really smart by the Mavericks to recognize, Penchek's defender stayed with her. They were essentially even. So rather than milk the clock, they had a good opportunity and put that one away.
Addison Myers scores, makes it 2-1 Manchester Valley. Give the sophomore an unassisted goal. Nice job by the youngster. And let's see. There it is, the first Century draw control. But good defense, and Harley Hamlet goes out of bounds on that play, and the Mavericks get it back. Emma Penchek just rode her to the sideline. Hamlet wisely tried to pass it upfield, but could not connect. That's a big play for Man Valley's defense. Oh, that's in the sun. Yep. Sophie Bear lost it. Looked like a little bit. That's a tough pass. At this field, it's a tough pass.
We always say in practice, you have to catch the sun. You have to get used to it. At the end of the day, if the ball is right in the sun, you try not to make that pass.
I think, it's almost impossible to try to get. It's a white ball up in a pretty cloudless sky. Yeah, so Century does get it back here, and there's Carfine. Back to Sandbank. Up top, here's Opatovsky, and she'll shoot high and score.
Good response by Century, for such a scoreless second quarter to come back and 1 goal for each team.
2 goals. Yeah, I was going to say 2 goals in 2 minutes when we had 2 goals in 24 minutes of play before that. Not too surprised, I guess, that the offenses would kind of figure it out, but good job by Century taking advantage of that turnover. So again, we've seen turnovers lead to goals here early on in this game, and that's a credit to both sides. So 2-2.
And despite the turnover, Century did get their first draw control.
They did.
We assumed that would happen.
At some point.
At some point.
There's Natalie Opatovsky with her first goal of the day. And now the draws can really start to swing things in your favor.
Usually you feel like the draw control is indicative of the score.
Sure.
So we'll have to see how.
And let's see. I think that's going to be Century's. Yeah, make it 2 in a row. Madison Preetz with a win there. And now the Knights will set up on offense to try to take a lead. They led this game 1-0. Man Valley tied it, went up 2-1 just moments ago. And then Century tied it right back up at 2-2.
I'm assuming that was part of Century's halftime talk. Draw controls. Despite the score being 1-1, getting on the board with these draw controls is important for them in this half.
Yeah, it's been Maddie Preetz in the circle the whole time. Here's Sandbank. Great shot, great save. And it actually might have gone off. Let's see, we got a defender down as Emma Penchek brings it all the way back the other way. There's a pass and a score. Nice pass, nice job, Emmeline Scott.
Great ball movement, getting that ball downfield. And, they really do thrive in transition. As much as you want to settle it down, you can't pass up that kind of opportunity.
It helps when you've got one of the faster kids around bringing the ball up the field for you. And that all came from a save and a defensive play at the other end. Collender, and it looked like Sophie Bear may have just turned an ankle. She's back up down the other side of the field. I thought maybe I'd have to go back and see if the ball actually deflected off of Bear or not. Either way, the defense comes up with a big play. And all the way down the other end, it's a goal for Man Valley, and they've got the lead again. 3-2 with 9:08 to go in the third quarter.
Maybe a goal by your offense gets you a little fired up to
no doubt about
stick it out.
Yeah, no doubt about it. She popped right back up. It just took her a second. I was looking to the left and look up to the right, and we already have Emma Penchek running all the way down the field. And another draw from Man Valley. It's Emmy Scott.
Good job.
Emmeline Scott, freshman, really carrying the ball all the way in. Nice job, nice hustle by Scott. And a goal here for the Mavericks would be the largest lead. This is as funny as it sounds. Would only be 2. Ooh, almost a Preetz tried to go for that interception there. This is Feek.
Getting back into their slow break, similar to the first half.
Penchek created a little space there. Now she has the ball on her stick. Drawing a double. And shooting space. If you're doubling one girl, chances are the other girl's going to have a chance to get it. And Boy, for a second, Bittinger, I'm not sure she knew it was coming. She had her hand up to block the sun, and Penchik gave her the ball.
And that's how you catch the sun. You're ready regardless.
That's right.
But
That's right. This is Haley Bittinger, number 2. Standing on the 8-meter on the far side. She'll take a shot. Mullenix makes the save. A quick shot from Bittinger. Ball down, but Emily Rutledge gathers it up. And she'll head upfield. Boy, a wall of Mavericks on defense in front of her. That was Abby Christian. Ball on the ground again. Let's see who wants it, who comes away with it. Hamlet digging for it.
These 50-50 balls are really going to be huge in this game.
And it was Sophie Bear for the Mavericks. You're right. 50-50 balls are a tremendously big stat. Tough pass. Picked up by Borniak. And she'll bring it up. She'll carry it across midfield. And she gets it up to Opatovsky. And just like that, Century back on offense.
Pretty good response on their end to the turnover to get the ball back.
Indeed. Preetz over to Hamlet. See, even just that pass right there is a little tricky. Preetz has to use the stick to shield the sun. It can be in your favor, but on this end of the field, it's not doing you many favors when you're trying to make those long passes or passes into the sky. 6.5 minutes.
And really trying to change your body position.
Yes.
I'm not putting myself right in line with the sun, if possible.
Right. That's the key, if possible. Here's Sandbank. Gets it down to Opatovsky. Back to Sandbank. Tough pass. Good catch. The stick skills are on display here. Yep, there's going to be some shooting space. Hamlet saw it.
And that's good offense. I mean, Mavericks were sending the double. They were smart to turn out of it, get the ball to the opposite side, and it's tough to not be in shooting space when they move the ball that quickly.
And this looks like a great opportunity here, potentially for Hamlet. Sophie Bear will do her best on that's Feek on the right side. Here's Hamlet. Stick up near the head. Try again. It's always tough. It's just tough going in there on anybody that's a defender knows that pain, right? You're doing anything you can to make her not score, but almost all the time it's going to be a foul called in there. And there she is again, and Colliner saved it with her leg. Great job by Colliner. Referee will sort it out here after a push. Century's ball, I believe. 5 minutes now to go in the third quarter. This is Marley Carfine, number 9, and she'll pass. Century tried to slow it down a little bit. Sandbank and Opatovsky behind the net.
Pretty solid on these cutters.
Mm-hmm. Being guarded well by Man Valley. Carfine tried to get through 2 and turned around looking for maybe a flag, but no flag there. We've seen this all day so far, Kristen. Just a lot of good defense on both ends. And this is Man Valley now showing some good defense as Century looks for a chance to score and tie the game with 4 minutes to go in the third quarter.
And certainly something neither of these teams are used to, a position that neither of them have really been in this season.
Right. Man Valley had the 10-9 game against Liberty in their tournament. It doesn't count toward the county standings. They won in the final seconds. Other than that, both these teams have not been in too many close contests. So, yeah, this defense, constantly being on defense is something new right now to both squads, and they've both risen to the occasion. Who's going to make a move here for Century? Or will Man Valley cause a turnover and try to go back the other way? Opatovsky guarded by Penchek. It was a double pass there to, tried to get it inside. That was Becca Harvey, number 10, with a pass near the goal. And Man Valley comes up with the ball, and here comes Taylor Feek.
Certainly a time you really got to take care of the ball. Century wants this ball back, and after a really long defensive set.
Yeah, 2 minutes at least right down the other end, and now here come Man Valley. After this nice clear, Sophie Baer helped them out. Penchek streaking toward the goal. No pass that time. This is Burmeister, number 6, behind the net, behind the official. 2.5 to go, third quarter. Man Valley 3, Century 2. Emmeline Scott.
Looks like trying to get something set up down here.
That's a tough pass there, too, and ball on the ground, but Man Valley gathers it back up. And so now Century's doing a good job with the cutters, defending them.
You can see Penchek up near the 30-yard line with some heavy pressure.
Guarded by Hamlet. There's Feek. And, wow, yeah, Mullenix made the stop. I thought it got behind her momentarily, but Mullenix comes up with the ground or the save. And now ground ball, and now it's Century. That's a tough pass. That's Borniak over the head of Abby Christian. Fighting for it. And, yeah, Century's ball. I think Man Valley touched it out last, so Century's ball.
Another important, crucial 50-50 ball there.
Absolutely, yeah. These are all going to be huge. That's a good pass to Sandbank, and here comes Sandbank racing the other way. It's Carfine. There's a shot and a goal. Marley Carfine. Nice job by Century on the transition.
Yeah, they turn the ball over, get the ball back, still make a very aggressive pass in the midfield that they connect on, and it results in a nice dodge and goal.
Yeah, great pass from Christian to Sandbank. Sandbank turned, found Carfine. Carfine did the rest. Got to the middle of the arc. And with 1:04 to go in the third quarter, we are tied again, 3-3. Marley Carfine with their first goal. Nice job by Century after that possession of Man Valley.
This draw again, I know we've talked about it many times, but
you got to keep talking about it.
An even bigger draw control than the last one.
They're going to be bigger and bigger and bigger as we get closer and closer to the end of regulation.
And only a minute to play, so not too much time for settled attack.
Right. And that one goes to Emma Penchek of Man Valley. So Century had a couple under their belt. Man Valley's won the last 2, I believe. And now the Mavericks right back at it on offense with a chance to retake the lead. 45 seconds and counting. There's a pass and a save. A good shot, and I believe a nice save by Mullenix. Still Man Valley's ball.
It was a good look. You have less than a minute. You can't pass up good opportunities like that.
And it was close range, too. Didn't mean to cut you off. Close range. And Mullenix, good stick work. Keep that stick up high. Here's Feek. It's going to be shooting space.
Go, Taylor!
So 18, the clock is running. Oh, I guess that was the end of it. Was that the end of it, or is that timeout?
I think it's a timeout.
Okay, timeout. Yep. Probably smart timeout because the clock runs there in the third quarter, right? So you want to. They're not going to let you do the free position if the clock runs out. So good timeout there.
It's tough. A lot of these rules have changed since I was here.
I agree.
Obviously with 4 quarters, but
I'm looking to you. Is that right? Is that right? No, it is right. You're right. They used to stop the clock right at the end of the. Of course, it wasn't quarters; it was halves. So.
Forces the Mavericks to get a timeout in. They still have time to play, but hopefully capitalizing on their free position shot.
A big chance here. These chances have been a little bit more in the second quarter or third quarter, but there haven't been many chances to come by here to score a solid goal. And so any one of these, it's smart to take that timeout and talk this through with 9.9 seconds left in the third quarter of a tie game. Offenses have started to pick it up a little bit, but again, this has been a defensive game. It's been great. It's been great fun to watch both these defenses come to play.
Yeah, it definitely has. I mean, especially the young Mavericks and then the more seasoned Century Knights. It's probably a lower scoring game than any of us expected.
I think
but
so.
A competitive game.
No doubt about that. Yeah, I mean, I expected us to be closer to 10 right now on one or the other, but 3-3 is can be just as fun for sure with the third quarter about to come to an end. And then we're really going to see in the final 12 minutes, every draw, every 50-50 ball, just that much more emphasis on getting them for your team. This is Taylor Feek going to try to give the Mavericks the lead in the waning seconds of the third quarter. And Becca Mullenix has made a few saves in the last few minutes of this quarter. Here's Feek. Oh, Mullenix save. Feek slams the stick in disgust, and Becca Mullenix will hold it. And that is how the third quarter will come to an end. And she's getting some congratulations from her teammates, and rightfully so. She's come to play, as has Josie Collender. And we have gotten 3 quarters in the books. Century 3, Manchester Valley 3 in the CMSportsNet Game of the Week. And fitting that both second and third quarters end with a save. And to sort of let the clock run out. Maybe it was the first quarter that ended that way. But either way, it's been great fun. I said that a minute ago, and I can't keep saying it again. Just the defense and the way that these teams have battled each other that way. There's your third quarter through 3 quarter stats. Draw saves even. Draw still. Man Valley 7-2, but again, 3 apiece on the goal side, and the saves are even. Both goalies have shined here in the first 3 quarters of play.
And you talk about how you prepare for a game like this. Well, it seems like free positions have been pretty essential here.
Yeah.
Goalies making great saves, and not a lot of shots going in on those.
And the few little things we've seen that maybe an unforced turnover, whatever it might be, have led to goals. That one that was just the Century goal that tied the game was after a nice pass and a turnover at the other end. You've got to take advantage of those quickly, because this is that kind of game where one goal might be the difference.
Yeah, and I think that is attributed to 2 teams that are really good in their ride and redefending. So conversely, their defense is pretty confident in their stick work of getting the ball down the field.
Especially, they have to feel confident right now through the first 3 quarters. They've both, I give them A. I mean, they've both been great. You see some of the Century faithful there in the stands cheering on the Knights, and it's going to be a good crowd here, even though it was a little bit earlier start. Teams travel pretty well. Century and Man Valley know their lacrosse.
Yeah, this would certainly be a good game for a lot of younger girls from the rec councils to come out and watch.
Yep.
Take a few pointers from.
And they do that often throughout the county schedule. I know I've seen a lot of games down the southern end and up here too, where the younger kids come out and they get to be on the sideline and see the girls that they are aspiring to be in their positions in a couple years' time. So it's fun to see them pass the torch in that way. So here we go, 3-3, 12 minutes to go in regulation. Hang on for what we think will be a pretty good fourth quarter here on the CMSportsNet Game of the Week. There's the draw, and Delaney Sandbank comes over for Century and maneuvers through a couple defenders. And so it looks like the Knights will have the first offensive possession here of the fourth quarter. And now the sun playing a little bit of, it could be a little tough down here as well, as it's kind of crested over the left, to our left anyway.
Certainly back into our settled attack here for the Knights.
This is Delaney Sandbank on the far side there behind the net. There's a shot and a goal. Natalie Opatowski. Nice play by Century, and they take the lead 4-3. 55 seconds into the fourth quarter. Nice job there by Century.
Great shot placement. You can't expect your goalie to make that save.
Good pass from Sandbank. Give her an assist.
Looks like maybe a little miscommunication on that screen there.
And Opatowski with her second goal of the game. So again, all the time in the world, right? 11:05 left, but each one of these goals, and just because we're low scoring, they're magnified, right? You get that extra goal, you go up 2 goals, and you're going to feel like you're in really good shape. Still, again, a lot of game left, and that one right to the stick of Emlyn Scott for Manchester Valley.
Definitely a much-needed response after that draw control and goal by Century.
That's right. Century won the draw and scored. Now Man Valley wins the draw, and let's see if they can tie things up. That was Bear. She's going to hustle back now. And Penchik will come on. Yep, and I think she started early. I think that's a good call. I know the fans aren't going to like that one, but I think she started a little bit early, and it happened to be right in front of the official. It's a tough one. It's a tough one, but wrong place, wrong time, maybe.
Talk about slight mental errors.
Yeah.
Things you don't want a ref to call, but is correct, unfortunately.
Yeah, I think it was. I mean, it just happened to be right there on the line, and she wants to get a head start. I get it. That's a tough pass there. Potofsky comes away with it. She's got a teammate in front. Becca Harvey now back behind the net. And that's Marley Carfine. And now the Knights looking over to the sideline for Coach Becky Groves.
If I'm Century here, I'm killing some time on this clock. I mean, 4-3. Goals are hard to come by.
Yeah. It's been a couple years now, but Century and Glenelg played a regional final on last time Century won the state championship, and they had a 1 or 2 goal lead, maybe just a 1 goal lead with 4 minutes to go, won the draw, and Glenelg never touched the ball again. And I know it was a little bit of a keep away style of play, but that's part of the game, right? You have the lead. There's nothing that says you can't just hold the ball the rest of the way.
Until they change the rules and, add a shot clock.
Correct.
That's kind of smart.
That's a good point, Kristen. I didn't say that out loud, but there is no shot clock in high school lacrosse. Space. It's a very good point because nothing's stopping you from trying. And if I'm remembering back, Glenelg was doubling the ball. The goalie came out, but Century didn't want to shoot anymore, so they just basically good on them for holding the ball. And there's a great save by Collender. Sandbank tried to go high, and the ball came back to Century. And you see Becky Groves there on the side holding her hands up.
Another huge 50-50 ball. Great save. Ball's on the ground.
Yeah.
Mavericks got to come up with that ground ball after a great save like that. And I would probably be the same as Coach Groves. Slow it down after that.
Slow it down. Right. There's Sandbank behind the net.
Here we go, Knights!
Coming up on 8 minutes to go.
Right now they're looking for really solid opportunities.
Sure.
Nothing that's 50-50.
Yeah.
Wide open looks is probably what they're thinking about right now. Force the Mavericks to make a choice. Are you going to sit back or are you going to step up?
That's a good point. Oh, Feek tried to go for the pass. There's Opatofsky in shooting space. I don't blame Feek for trying to go for it, but that's one of those, if you don't get it, that's a gamble. And it's a little bit too tall for her, and Opatofsky will now have a chance from free position to potentially give Century a 2-goal lead. And there's a shot and a goal.
Just unfortunate which player you have, getting the free position opportunity. She obviously capitalizes on that.
Natalie Opatofsky, her 3rd of the night. And that's a big one with 7.5 minutes left. That's a 2-goal lead. Good shot there from our camera guys right behind the play. Smart of Opatofsky to go low.
So this is our biggest lead of the game.
Indeed it is. As weird as that is to say.
Yes.
Look, there's still a lot of time left, and Man Valley's been dominating the draw, so far from over, but Century with a 5-3 lead. This is a big draw right here with 7.5 left.
Someone's got to find it within themselves to fire up their teammates to get this draw.
If you're Century and you win it, I would imagine you wouldn't want to do anything but hold the ball for the next 3-4 minutes. And that's a high in the air draw. Still there. Ooh, won by Century. Delaney Sandbank. It was there in the air for anybody to get, and credit Sandbank for going up to get it. And now, again, I was just saying, I think if you're Century, you'd be totally fine to not do anything with it. We're stopping the clock. Let's see, we're going to talk.
Yeah, I'm not sure what they're
I
talking
don't know
about
either.
here.
Yeah,
But
I was watching the play. I wasn't watching the official. They're talking at the top of the arc. Century has the ball behind the net. We're going to figure out here from the officials. Maybe there's something. Maybe the clock was a little off. We'll see. We'll see. See Josie Collender talking with her teammate Lindsay McCrory on defense. And let's see. Well, Century doesn't like it.
it looks like they're going to talk to both coaches,
Yeah,
maybe.
maybe they're coming back to the table. Becky Groves didn't like the call. I don't know what the call is. We're going to hopefully figure this out. But there you see one of the officials talking to the scorekeepers. They've done a good job of making sure that everything has been explained, I think, on the sidelines. Yeah, I think that was the clock. They were talking about the clock issue. So 7:24, so I guess maybe it didn't stop earlier on the goal.
It's probably the most pressure on our clock keepers they've had this season.
Yes, absolutely. Well, it helps Van Valley a little bit with 10 seconds added to it, and then we're counting down again. Century has the ball. So I think Coach Groves just didn't want the momentum to stop for 10 seconds, but good call by the referees to get the right number of seconds remaining here, which are precious in this game.
Yeah, especially in a game like this, you need every 10 seconds you can get.
Absolutely. If you're Century, you want 10 less seconds.
Right.
If you're Man Valley, you want 10 to 15 more right now, but still plenty of time. 7 minutes to go. Nice job by Harvey getting around a defender. And here's Hamlet.
And you've got to go for opportunities like that, like the one that Feek went for, sort of that look to maybe go for a check, bait Century to go to the goal. You need them to try to create offense if you're Manchester Valley to get the ball back.
And now Man Valley's starting to press on the ball a little bit more. I think Coach Brzezicki, Coach Brzezicki realizes here with still 6.5 minutes left that Century could easily milk this clock away and win the game 5-3. So you're not going to see too much of them, I don't think, sit back.
And this is obviously a scenario that both teams have practiced.
Sure.
What do we do when we're down by 1, down by 2, need the ball back?
Yep. And there's a ground ball. Alpatowski fell down. Ball's on the ground. Who wants it? Man Valley's got it. Mavericks had the ball. So a big play there for Manchester Valley.
5:45 left, plenty of time.
Plenty of time. Especially when you possess the kind of speed that Manchester Valley possesses.
And despite this being a low-scoring game, they've been in settle attack. This isn't going to be the time for as settled of an attack as we've seen.
Sophie Baer tried to get it to a teammate, Julia Borniak, and there it is. Baer gets it back to Emmeline Scott. Julia Borniak almost came with the ball, would have been a killer for Man Valley, but Mavericks have the ball. And now Penchik at the top here. She's gonna want the ball on her stick here. There's a high shot and a goal. It's been a while since we called her name, but Emma Penchik, one of her bread and butter shots is that high corner, just like that.
And you can see the confidence. That ball gets in her stick. She has a reputation. She's strong with the ball. She can place that shot. That's what the Mavericks need in this moment.
She dodged her defender and knew where she wanted to put it.
When you talk about the spark you need, that's the spark you need in this moment.
That is a big spark if you're Manchester Valley.
And maybe 35 seconds from the ball getting to your keeper all the way down to the goal.
And almost, seconds before that, we almost had a turnover back the other way, and who knows what happens after that if Century can get it into their zone. They still have the ball right now with time ticking away. Instead, it's a 1-goal lead with 5:08 to go. And a tremendously big draw. They're going to be big the rest of the way, but a huge draw control here.
They've gotten more and more important ever since we mentioned it.
That is correct. And that one right to Penchik. Sam Bank tried to play some defense, but now she'll be back behind the line, and Man Valley can look to tie the score. Addison Meyer with the ball, top of the zone here. Under 5 to go.
Definitely expecting some more settled attack than the last one. It's tough. You need a goal, but you also need to manage the clock. You know,
Sure.
This goal goes in, you're back to the draw.
Right. Which has gone your way most of the day. Penchik. Oh, what a great pass to Burmeister. Nothing Becca Mullenix could do about that.
And that's a great look and a confident play. You know, we've talked about nerves. If there's any time you're going to be nervous, it's probably right there, but they don't look nervous. And I think that comes from your teammates, you know, building up your confidence, feeding you that ball, you're open, place the shot.
And having been there in the last year and a half, I mean, that's what they've been doing the last year and a half, is overcoming these season, game-by-game challenges. And this is the first time they've been challenged in a while, other than that Liberty game against, or the tournament game against Liberty, facing a 2-goal deficit about a minute and a half ago. 2 goals in 46 seconds and tied the game 5-5.
And you've got Nat Burmeister, who's normally on the other end of that.
Right.
Throwing out a lot of assists.
That's true, yeah. She knows how to score.
And you need that in a game like this. Penchek drawing that attention and creating offense there.
Yep, and another huge draw here. Man Valley won the last one, and it resulted in a goal. This one goes right to Preetz. And so now Century will come into the offensive zone, and Preetz is charging toward the net. Madison Preetz. She took a shot. She took a tumble. She's on the ground. I don't know if the ball got to Collender.
I'm not
Either way,
sure what that call is there.
Yeah, I was looking at the ground. I was looking at Preetz. She's slow to get up. She's getting up here, it looks like.
You hate to have to make a call in a play like that with a game this close.
Looks like she's okay. She just maybe took a tumble there, right in the goal crease, right before the crease. It was hard to see if the ball got to Collins. If it did, that was a tremendous save. And Century does have the ball. Preetz coming off the field, a little bit limping, but should be Century's ball here.
I think they called a push on that 50-50 over there,
Okay.
but almost another opportunity to make a call after a little bit of contact on the previous play.
Yeah, Preetz just had a nose for the goal, headed toward the crease. Took the shot. Didn't go in, but the Knights have the ball. 5-5. Preetz, excuse me. Yeah, Preetz back on the field, so there you go. She's tough.
You're not going to miss this opportunity to be on that field.
No, you're not. Not if you can avoid it. Preetz still kind of shaking it off here a little bit, shaking off the rust. Opatovsky, where Sandbank's going to go back behind the net where she usually thrives. Here's Opatovsky. Sandbank. She'll come around. And let's see. So it'll be just Sandbank's ball behind the net. 3 minutes to go in regulation.
Now, if I'm correct, the clock won't stop till under 2.
I think that's correct.
So we're burning some time here.
Mm-hmm. Now, Man Valley, you don't have to pressure too hard and, get yourself in a bad position where you were down 2 goals a minute or so ago. You had to sort of make the press on defense. Now you can sort of get back to what you were doing before.
Yeah, probably not seeing quite as many risks as we were seeing on the last set.
Right. Sophie Baer, one of the top defenders on Opatovsky, who gets it to Sammy. This is the same play they just tried to run a second ago. There's Carfine. Good double by Man Valley. Ball on the ground. Nice job, and a caused turnover.
It's a great check by Penchek and a good ground ball. Start your offense.
And this is Taylor Feek. So that was a great job by Man Valley. 2 minutes left.
Smart to recognize you had numbers for a second, but 2 minutes left. You're looking for that.
Maybe the play of the game so far. See if it sets up a goal chance. There's some contact, and it's going to be a foul on Century. Just two girls trying to get through the crease there together, the circle together, and foul on Century. This will be free position. See what we got here. Is this Haley Bittinger with a chance to give her team the lead with 1:46 to go. She passed it back out. Oh, Feek took the shot. I think the ball might have just bounced a little bit over.
It's a good take and a good backup.
Mavericks still have it. There's a shot off the post. Emmeline Scott got in there quick, and I heard the clang of the pipe. We've heard that a couple times today. Mavericks have the ball. 1.5 minutes to go.
Tried to sneak one in there, maybe one more step, but still a good take.
There's a curl. Penchik getting her share of attention on defense.
It's tough, intentional or not.
Yeah.
It took away her goal scoring opportunity.
Yep.
Every whistle at this point.
Yeah. Century's not going to like that one, but Feek got around her and maybe tripped on her foot, but she's getting guarded by a defender and she passes off. 1:10 to go.
And I like that ball movement that the Mavericks had there. You know, that's how you got to get these defenders going and get someone in shooting space or create an opening.
60 seconds left in regulation. 5-5. Who is going to break through here?
Someone sticky wanted in at this moment.
White 10. You can tell Century understands it too. Meyer looked to dodge, and Century's defense was right there. There's Taylor Feek on the side, but Man Valley backed it up. And a timeout. Pretty smart timeout with 30 seconds left. Whew, everybody catch your breath. It's been a fun few minutes here.
Some great ball movement headed into that last shot.
Century had that 2-goal lead, and there was plenty of time left on the clock, but man, if one of those balls bounces the other way and they get the ball back, who knows if we're in this position right now. But credit to Manchester Valley for getting those 2 goals in less than a minute, and I'm not surprised. Here we are with 30 seconds left in a tie game.
You can definitely see their momentum on the rise. You know, Century still came out super strong in this fourth quarter, but you know, one good save, good transition has really sparked their offense.
Just a reminder that Game On comes to you every Wednesday at 7 p.m. That's our weekly look around the Carroll County Athletic League, and our spring season is hard to believe. The spring season is almost coming to a regular season, coming to an end, that is. The playoffs are just a few weeks away. It's always a mad dash to the end, but we do our best to keep you covered with Carroll County sports. Game On every Wednesday at 7 p.m. The season goes so fast. I mean, they're 7-0 and 6-0, and you feel like, oh, we're just getting started. The playoffs are in 2.5 weeks. It's hard to wrap your brain around that.
I know.
But
this warm weather, we're at the end of April.
Yeah.
Season's flying by.
Yeah. It feels like it's never going to get here in the beginning of March, and when you first start practice, and it's cold and sometimes still snowy. And a couple days like today remind you that, hey, spring is right around the corner, if not already here. And it feels good to be outside, like you said a while ago, enjoying a beautiful night for some really good girls lacrosse in Carroll County. 29.6 to be exact, 29.6 seconds to go. Man Valley, I believe Penchik has the ball behind the net when we restart, and we do. So what did they call up in that timeout? We're going to find out. That's what they called up.
Wow. They start with 2 girls on Penchik. Great offense.
Burmeister to Penchik. That was a pretty play.
Yeah, I mean, they started with 2 girls on her, passes the ball off. You know, and Burmeister, who scored on the last play, you have to give both of those girls the respect and attention they deserve, and just great offense.
There it was, you said it, the double. Penchik splits the double. Burmeister finds her. Not much Century's defense can do at that point. 21.9 seconds to go. Man Valley 6, Century 5. Century calls a timeout, probably smart, to try to set this up. And of course, the biggest draw of the night is going to be coming up here with 21.9 seconds to go. That was just a pretty play drawn up by Man. Maybe that wasn't the exact play they drew up, but man, pretty nice to see those 2 girls with that connection they have.
I'd love to know if that's what they drew up, but
Hopefully
it seemed pretty nice.
Hopefully we'll find out.
And not much better you can do on the defensive end. I mean, the second the pass gets made, that ponytail turns, she backdoor cuts.
And give Penchik just the IQ to pass to Burmeister and immediately split the two defenders to get toward the goal. She knew what she wanted to do with it. Yep. Nobody was going to stop her, and that's the prettiest goal we've seen maybe tonight. And we've only had 11 of them so far, and
that timing is huge.
Yeah.
And I've mentioned a lot the confidence on that play. There's no hesitation when they make that pass and that shot.
So here we go. The winner of this draw. Well, if Man Valley wins it, for all intents and purposes, could end the game. If Century wins it, you're going to see a sprint to the goal. Oh, it's going to be Century. It's Preetz. Oh, ball on the ground.
50,
Clock is ticking.
Balls.
Come on, 10 seconds.
Preetz. Oh, intercepted at midfield, and that is going to do it. Penchik intercepted it. The clock is going to run out.
What a way
She left the ball on the ground. It didn't matter. Century tried to get something going there on that final possession, and, of course, defense wins the game for Manchester Valley. Wow.
What a way to end.
Give Century credit for that draw, and they were trying to set something up on offense. Penchik saw the pass and intercepted it, ran over here to the near side. Actually, a few seconds or so remaining, and she dropped the ball on the ground. It didn't matter. And, man, what a finish to a great game. Man Valley wins 6-5.
I think that was the game we all hoped for.
I think you're right, and we got it.
Game.
And we got it. We got one. The stars shine the brightest when they absolutely needed it in the final seconds there with Penchik Burmeister on offense, and just a great finish to a great girls lacrosse game.
And I think all the other girls doing their job on some of these plays, it really allows those players to do what they need to do, put the ball in the back of the net.
Fans are catching their breath here as they leave the stadium at Manchester Valley. Century breaks their huddle, and they're going to go have their handshakes.
Yeah, I'd say the energy is still peaking at this point.
Oh, absolutely. There's your handshakes between two competitive but respectful county foes. And the handshakes with Emma Penchik scoring the game winner, and then coming up with the interception at near the restraining line to seal the victory for Manchester Valley. Your final score for Manchester: Mavericks 6, Knights 5. Mavericks win streak extends. Knights suffer their first loss of the season. Mavericks in first place in the Carroll County Athletic League as they try to defend their county championship. Kristen, some thoughts here momentarily as you catch your breath and we figure out how we saw the end of this fourth quarter play out.
Yeah, I'd just love to be a fly on the wall for some of those timeouts, halftime talks. I've been in some of Coach Brzezicki's huddles. I can imagine a few of the things that are being said, but, I think it's just really awesome that both of these teams responded in critical situations.
Yeah, that's a cool shot right there with her. Everyone just sort of taking a knee and she's breaking it down. Like you said, I'm sure we could ask her afterward about what they're talking about. And same with Century. They're going to retreat to the sideline. They're not going to be happy about the result, but they held their own with, again, a reigning state champion. You got to be pretty pleased. I know Becky is a stickler. She's going to have a lot to work on. Becky Groves at Century. But there were positives in this game, and I think it starts with their defense.
Absolutely. I think they both executed their game plan. Century especially taking the Mavericks out of a lot of the things that they're used to doing. But I think the Mavericks really responding in that last quarter was huge. Century took the biggest lead of the game in the fourth quarter.
That's right, with only 5 minutes to go. So Man Valley comes from behind, gets the victory, 6-5. We're going to step aside one more time here for a quick break. We got some more post-game coverage coming your way, so don't go away. The CM Sportsnet Game of the Week post-game show is coming right up.
Hungry? Genova's to go. Pizza, pasta, subs, and more. Fresh hot pizza right from the oven. Genova's to go. A mouth-watering cheesesteak just off the grill. Genova's to go. Fresh baked bread and plump wings seconds from the fryer. Genova's to go. Genova's to go carry-out, delivery, mobile device, and online ordering is available at all locations. Westminster, Hampstead, Manchester, and our newest dining room in Eldersburg. For lunch, dinner, or any time in between. Genova's to go.
There's a lot about Sarah and Tara that's exactly alike. They drink the same coffee, they have the same great job, and they both have a high-quality education. The only difference? Sarah spent her first 2 years at Carroll Community College, getting the same exceptional education, but at less than half the cost. So while Tara uses her paycheck to make student loan payments, Sarah can use hers for other things, like going out for coffee. Get started at carrollcc.edu.
Hey there, I'm Pat Stetzer.
And I'm Michael Duffy, inviting you to join us for The Score and more.
Each week we'll talk about high school sports in Carroll County. We'll share information about upcoming games, highlight coaches and athletes, and much more.
We'll even try to have a little fun along the way. Don't miss the Score and More podcast presented by CMSportsNet.
The Score and More Sports podcast is available online at carrollmediacenter.org and on a variety of podcast channels. Skill, dedication, leadership. Just a few of the things it takes to be named CM Sportsnet's Athlete of the Week. Each week, CM Sportsnet recognizes an outstanding player for their contribution to their sport. Meet some of Carroll County student athletes and join us as we celebrate their performance, impact, and outstanding accomplishments.
CM Sportsnet's Athlete of the Week is brought to you in part by Barnes-Bollinger Insurance Services. We're here for the home team. Barnes-Bollinger Insurance Services. And by Genova's to Go. Locations in Westminster, Hampstead, Manchester, Hanover, and Eldersburg. Genova's pizza, pasta, subs, and more.
We had a thriller in Manchester. Final score, Manchester Valley 6, Century 5. Girls lacrosse, Carroll County action at its finest. Welcome back to our post-game coverage, CM Sportsnet Game of the Week. We're about to see some of the second half highlights, then we'll get into the final row of the team stats here. But Kristen, we saw adjustments made in the second half. We saw defense still play well. When it came down to the end of the game, the stars shined. And here are some highlights from that second half of play. You said there'd be some adjustments. But we still saw some great play from both goalies. Here's Delaney Sandbank taking over that. Turned the turnover into a goal. This was earlier action here. We're going to see a little bit of action from both sides. Both halves, I should say. But again, Penchie scored her first goal of the game. The goals were tough to come by early on, just the way the defense was playing. The free position chance here for Century, and Joseph Colliner made the save. That was Sandbank trying to get it. Breakthrough.
Definitely a slower paced first half.
It was. Another big save here. That was Carfine taking a shot, and Colliner with a huge save. That's how the tone was set early on. Here's Addison Meyer taking her chance in there. She comes away with a goal for Manchester Valley. We wondered in the second half who would make the adjustments. Here we are now. Alpatovsky definitely showed herself as one of the top scorers around. She had 3 goals in the game. Man Valley tried to get back into it, but a big save there by Becca Mullenix. Colliner's counterpart. Both goalies definitely came to play, but eventually some of these girls on offense started to make some things happen. Here's another big play there. Harley Hamlet trying to get a shot, and Colliner with a save. It was just biding their time. Right? You talked about it all day, Kristen, about how possessions were big, and just each team wanted to kind of stretch it out as much as they could and make their best opportunity count.
And I think really high percentage shots in the second half, especially in the fourth quarter.
Yep, there was one right there. Here comes another one. This was a free position. I believe this is the one that put Century up by 2. That was Opatowski with her third goal of the game. Century didn't score again, so credit Man Valley's defense. Some 50-50 balls went their way. There was Penchik scoring down low. She had her team back in the game, and again, that you said maybe that was the spark they needed. And again, to tie it up there with 2 goals in less than a minute. There was the second one that tied it up. That was Burmeister. So Burmeister to Penchik tied it up. Both teams had a chance, and then coming out of that timeout, Penchik to Burmeister, back to Penchik. She finds the net. She gives them the lead. She's fired up. There's the team stats as you see it. We'll take a look at the team stats there. There they are. The draw controls actually evened out the rest of the way. Man Valley had a dominant start to the game with the draw controls. I mean, it's about as even as you can get. They scored a goal there with the final minute and a half or whatever it was. Or I'm sorry, no, the final seconds of the game to take the lead. And then that interception at the end. Before we say goodbye to you, Kristen, just that last play. I mean, Century won the draw they needed to win to try to tie the game. Yet Man Valley stayed on defense, stayed smart. If she misses that pass, Century has a good look at going in. But Penchik knows how to get to that ball. The other girls do too. That's the epitome of the whole game right there. They've scored the goal to take the lead and then made a good play on defense to wrap it up. That was just cool to see.
Yeah, I think just never giving up on the game, right? It was not over until the final whistle's blown. I think they really dug deep, stayed on the ball. They could have gotten complacent. They could have backed off, but they kept pushing, got that last interception to seal it off.
Kristen Cannon, thanks for taking some time out of your evening to join us on the Game of the Week broadcast. It was awesome to talk to you, catch up with you again. Hopefully we can do it again here soon. I know we said we hope we can get something out of you because the time changed. You were good with us to do it, so we appreciate it. And again, thanks to Kristen for spending some time with us and some insight and some comments. We're going to take a quick break, though. When we come back, we'll say bye to Kristen and hello to one of the players of the game. So stick around with us again for a post-game interview on CMSportsNet Game of the Week.
Hey there, I'm Pat Stetzer.
And I'm Michael Duffy, inviting you to join us for The Score and more.
Each week we'll talk about high school sports in Carroll County. We'll share information about upcoming games, highlight coaches and athletes, and much more.
We'll even try to have a little fun along the way. Don't miss The Score and More podcast presented by CMSportsNet.
The Score and More Sports podcast is available online at carrollmediacenter.org and on a variety of podcast channels.
Join us on Saturday, April 27th from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. at Carroll Community College for our second annual Family Fun Fest. This year's exciting activities include free books, activities such as storytime readings, a storybook trail, drone demonstrations, a scavenger hunt, a tie-dye station, inflatables, emergency vehicles, including a helicopter, and rock painting. A local DJ will provide music, and we'll have a selection of affordable concessions and much, much more at the event. A huge thank you to our many wonderful sponsors who continue to support this event. To learn more, please visit www.carrollcc.edu. And for further questions, you can direct them to ekuzmak@carrollcc.edu or call at 410-386-8184. I look forward to seeing you at this year's event.
Skill, dedication, leadership. Just a few of the things it takes to be named CM Sportsnet's Athlete of the Week. Each week, CM Sportsnet recognizes an outstanding player for their contribution to their sport. Meet some of Carroll County student athletes and join us as we celebrate their performance, impact, and outstanding accomplishments.
CM Sportsnet's Athlete of the Week is brought to you in part by Barnes Bollinger Insurance Services. We're here for the home team. Barnes Bollinger Insurance Services. And by Genova's To Go. Locations in Westminster, Hampstead, Manchester, Hanover, and Eldersburg. Genova's Pizza, Pasta, Subs, and more.
Welcome back, CM Sportsnet Game of the Week. Time for the post-game interview. Joined by senior Natalie Burmeister, Manchester Valley. Natalie, congrats on the great game.
Thank you.
Boy, it was right down to the wire. You had a 2-goal deficit with only a few minutes to go. You guys never wavered, though. I mean, during your timeouts, I'll ask you in a second, but what was the feeling like? You saw them go up by 2, and you knew there was only about 5 minutes left. Was there any doubt, or was there any sort of like, oh, we got to really kind of ratchet things up here because time's running out?
There was definitely a lot of pressure, but I think we've been in this position before, especially like in states last year. We know what this is like.
That's true.
We all have confidence in each other, so we just went out there and we knew we could do it. So there was a lot of pressure, but we knew we could do it.
So Emma gets the ball to you for the game tying goal. It's a great one-time shot. Then you get the ball back there and you call that timeout. And you don't have to tell me everything that was said, but what was the plan? What was what we saw, the play you guys drew up?
Pretty much. The plan was to get the ball in the back, get it to Emma, and run it through the top, but it ended up working going through the back a little better. So we went with what it gave us, and it worked out in our favor. That
she gets double and she passes it to you, and you know she's going to split the two defenders and try to get to the goal. And that's got to be just, you guys have been playing together for a while now. You know, you throw it right to where her stick's going to be. More often than not, she's going to come up and get it.
Yeah, I heard her say one more, and I knew to give it to her, and I knew she would finish.
So you had the lead, 20 couple seconds left. Century wins the draw, so now you got to play quick defense. And yet, when they try to make the pass, there's Emma to intercept. What was that feeling like when you saw her grab that ball and head the other way?
It was just really reassuring, just to know, because they can score in 10 seconds. That's all it takes. So just to have that possession at the end was just key for us.
Maybe there's pressure, too, that, okay, you've won 26 now, 27 games in a row. I know you guys don't care about that right now. You're trying to just win every game you can. Century's a good team. They're a team that wants to win a state title. Not that you guys certainly aren't, but how much better does it make you guys to play in games like this when it's two really good teams that come right down to the wire like that?
It really shows us that we can come back from deficits. We've been in a lot of positions like this before in the past, like in Liberty a few weeks ago. Right. So it just shows us that when there's more pressure and later in the season, in the postseason, that we can come back from those deficits. So we just never give up on each other.
You have them again coming up in the game that counts in the county. So there's really no days off when it comes to this county race. And you just mentioned in the last question, you guys you already know what it feels like to be in that situation and win a state championship. You were down in that game against Middletown and came back and won it. That springboards you into this season where you know the target's on your back. How do you feel like you guys have handled that? Yes, you've won all the games, but how do you feel like you've handled all the adversity that comes with being the reigning state champs, getting everybody's A game? You've passed all the tests so far. It's got to make you feel pretty good as you get almost to the midway point here of the regular season.
Yeah, we're just keeping the mentality that the pressure that we're feeling is a privilege, and we're just not taking it for granted and just going out and doing our best every day.
Well, congrats on a great game, and good luck the rest of the season. Natalie Burmeister, stick with us right here. Just want to thank Natalie for giving us a few minutes and thank Kristen Cannon as well for joining me on the broadcast, and a big thanks to Manchester Valley AD Liz Padgett and everybody for making our stay hospitable and very cooperated. Also, a reminder that CMSportsNet's back at it Thursday with some county lacrosse action. We have Francis Scott Key visiting Manchester Valley on the boys' side at 6:30, and then Liberty hosts South Carolina girls action at 6:30. We'll have highlights and coverage of both of those big matchups for Thursday, plus our weekly show Game On, like I mentioned, every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Be on the lookout for that as well. Be sure to catch all of our high school sports content online on Facebook and YouTube, as well as our cable channel HD 1086, and you can watch us on the cable channel as well, HD 1086. Thanks again to Liz Padgett, thanks to Natalie Burmeister, and thanks to Kristen Cannon. I'm Pat Stetzer of the Media Center, and saying so long, and we'll see you next time for Game of the Week.
Hungry? Genova's to go. Pizza, pasta, subs, and more. Fresh hot pizza right from the oven. Genova's to go. A mouth-watering cheesesteak just off the grill. Genova's to go. Fresh baked bread and plump wings seconds from the fryer. Genova's to go. Genova's to go carry-out, delivery, mobile device, and online ordering is available at all locations. Westminster, Hampstead, Manchester, and our newest dining room in Eldersburg. For lunch, dinner, or any time in between. Genova's to go.
What's the best gift you can give yourself? Pursue your passions. Explore your creativity. Expand your knowledge. Treat your mind and body. Give yourself a better you. With personal enrichment classes at Carroll Community College. Join us at carrollcc.edu/personal enrichment.